I wholeheartedly apologise.
Yesterday, the MP Naz Shah was suspended by Labour and apologised to MPs for suggesting on social media 2 years ago that Israel should be moved en bloc from the Middle East to the US. But today, Jeremy Corbyn's close friend Ken Livingstone made Labour's crisis far worse when he tried to defend Shah on the radio. She'd gone over the top, he said, but wasn't anti-Semitic.
Let's remember, when Hitler won his election in 1932, his policy then was that Jews should be moved to Israel. He was supporting Zionism. His boy went mad and ended up killing 6 million Jews. But the simple fact in all of this is that Naz made these comments at a time when there's another brutal Israeli attack on the Palestinians.
Hitler and Zionism, two of the most emotive words in politics. In recent months, many Labour MPs have contained their anger with Livingstone, but things exploded this lunchtime when MP John Mann turned up to the Westminster TV studios at the same time as the former mayor.
Why don't you go and check the history?
A Nazi apologist. You're a disgusting Nazi apologist, Livingstone. And you dare say that Hitler supported Zionism. You've lost it, mate. You need help. You need help. What did Mein Kampf say about Zionism?
Hitler's a mad anti-Zionist. He wanted to kill all Jews. But his policy in 1932, when he won that election, was to deport Germany's Jews to Israel. And the Zionist movement had secret meetings with this administration talking about that.
But in every argument on the internet, everything gets back to Hitler.
So who's right? We put it to the distinguished war historian, Anthony Beevor.
Is it historical fact, Anthony Beevor?
Well, it is grotesque to pretend that the most obsessive anti-Semite in history was a Zionist. But there was an element of truth in the sense that there were contacts between Zionists in Israel, the Haganah, and the Nazi administration, particularly Eichmann. And Eichmann even went to Israel in November 1937 to see about the mass emigration. Hitler then vetoed the whole idea. He was not going to have anything to do with the strengthening or foundation of a Jewish state. So any question of saying that Hitler was a Zionist is preposterous.
Just minutes after Livingstone's row with John Mann, Labour's current London mayoral contender Sadiq Khan condemned him outright.
These comments are appalling and they're disgusting. What needs to happen clearly is action taken.
What sort of action?
Well, I think, there should be no place in the Labour Party for anybody with these views.
So he should be expelled?
The due process needs to follow, but I think it's quite clear that there are too many examples in our party of people with anti-Semitic views where action isn't taken quickly enough.
Thanks.
While Khan took the Livingstone issue head on,
are you going to suspend Ken Livingstone, Mr Corbyn?
The Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, on a visit to Grimsby, repeatedly refused to comment.
You're not going to suspend Ken Livingstone, then? Are his remarks acceptable?
Sorry. Enough's enough. Time to apologise, Mr Livingstone.
Ken Livingstone showed no signs of contrition, gave no hint of an apology, and was losing friends rapidly. The left-wing fixer John Landsman tweeted that a period of silence from Livingstone was overdue. It's time he quit politics altogether, he wrote.
MPs have said you should resign now.
They need to check whether what I've said is historically true.
Right. Minutes later, Labour suspended Ken Livingstone from party membership and its national executive. It's all fuel for the party's opponents ahead of next week's elections, and it was quickly seized by the PM.
Anti-Semitism is like racism. It is unacceptable in a modern political party, and every political party facing this problem has got to deal with it. And as I said to Jeremy Corbyn some weeks ago, when I was shouted down in the House of Commons with cries of disgraceful from the Labour benches, they got a problem. It's now totally apparent they got a problem, and they got to deal with it.
I haven't offended anybody. I've stated a historical fact. To expel Jeremy's work to deal with it very rapidly.
It was almost 4 hours before Jeremy Corbyn finally said anything.
There were very grave concerns about the language he used in the interview this morning. We had a discussion about it and decided we'd suspend him and he would go through an investigation by the party on this matter. Anybody that thinks this party is not cracking down on anti-Semitism is simply wrong.
Meanwhile, a man suspended an Israeli flag from Ken Livingstone's door. his suspension may be much more permanent.